The sophistication to inspire exhilaration. And the technology to customize every ride. Packaged to create a luxury ride like no other. Introducing the most premium personal watercraft on the market. The 2021 FX Series from Yamaha.
Morning. I'm in a much better mood today than I was yesterday when it was raining and we were doing my most favorite thing, camping in the rain. But it was all worthwhile. We've seen off hopefully the bad weather. Now we're going to hit the queue for the launch here. Life jacket, check. One packing system, check. And gloves, check. Check, how's this color coding? How's this? Look at it. Can't even tell the jacket from my fingers. Game plan today? Well, it would have been to be on a kayak, but my cameraman, my editor, my boss, Cameron, camera boss, he said no, I need to be on the boat.
This is my first time fishing in Cape Vidal and I'm very excited. I was holding back a bit because I was a bit nervous for the launch, but then I just said to myself, always say yes to new adventures and gonna go for it. And I'm hoping to catch a good game fish like a kuta or a tuna or maybe hopefully a prodigal son. So yeah, let's just see what the day holds and yes to new adventures.
We'll probably play it as we see what's happening out on the water. If there's bait and there's fish around nearby, well then we just fish close, because then you don't need to go far because the fish are here. So yeah, hopefully there's fish right here and then we can get some good action, get some good footage, and then hopefully I can get on the kayak this afternoon. I'll have to ask Cam's permission though, of course. Okay, thank you. I thought we were gonna go. Well done, BK. Shot, bro. Well done. Shot. Morning, welcome to Cape Vidal. What a cracker, hairy launch.
Good evening, guys, and we are at the amazing Pumula Beach Hotel. There are some awesome drone shots of the hotel, the pools, the hotel itself. We are here. It's Thursday, the Go Fish Weekly wrap up, and for the Sapphire Insurance King of the Sea 2022. Finally, we are here after COVID and a bit of a delay 2 weeks ago from the floods and rains and whatnot. We are here at the hotel, magnificent spot. A massive thanks to our associate sponsors, Bates Motor Group, Glassfit, Richards Bay, Spa, Selco Logistics, Suzuki South Africa, Natal Powerboats, Bluebird Aviation, and R&K. Sorry, Selco Logistics, which we've said already. But guys, welcome. We are here at Phumula Beach Hotel. We are so stoked to be here. It's been a long time coming, as I said. 2 years, 2.5 years. We don't know whether we still can do these comps at the moment. We're feeling a bit rusty, but I'll tell you what, it's amazing to be back in the throes of events. We cannot wait to see the 140 or so guys that have entered tomorrow night, and I'm sure there's probably going to be a good sort of 50 to 60 guys that are going to be coming tomorrow. So yeah, this we've got a great weekend planned for all of you this weekend. Festivity, Craig comps, we've got live bands, music, all of that. And we had a little parcel that was dropped earlier today from RACETECH, Yamaha, and we are like give it a bit of a look here. You know, it's quite a wide bag. I don't know, kind of not too sure. He said that possibly there might be a little pygmy cooter in this thing, yeah, but not too sure what's going on here. So let's have here, boys. Might be a winning undersized shad. What? Someone got into the craft beers here, cuz.
Jay said it's like a sleeping bag.
It was on my own there for a second. But
Thanks for keeping my place here.
yeah, it's been a long time
guys.
coming, Brendan. I mean, flip, it's been 2.5 years. We've had COVID.
It's actually driven us almost insane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we get sort of 2 weeks, the weekend of the 25th, and we get there, and the weather now then throws a curveball, and there's nothing worse than having to make the call to delay an event, especially when you have a host venue.
Yeah, and we sat all week. You know, started on Monday. We started looking at whether there was something coming.
Yeah.
And then we look. Sunday looks okay. You know, at least one day is an event.
Yeah.
And then the rain, and we're saying, oh, it's going to be wet, but you know, at least Sunday looks okay, and we'll be able to fish. And then it just really, you could see on the Wednesday it was. So we asked a few experts and checked out the site. So we called, and it was the right one.
It was the right call, definitely the right call. I mean, yes, it was just sort of like a reloaded of what had happened, a couple of weeks prior with those unfortunate disaster with the floods and that. But thankfully we are here now. This weekend looks absolutely superb weather-wise. In Cracker, Sunday looks like we're going to get a bit of a morning fishing as well.
But also, I think the thing is, as well as I think guys appreciated the fact that we made that tough call rather than push the envelope, and we wouldn't have put anyone at risk.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, the weather wouldn't have let it launch. But then the guys would have been sat here in the hotel in their gumboots and umbrellas doing lucky draws, and it wouldn't have been fun.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it probably would have been a bit of fun, but it's one of the things. But we far rather have a bit of fishing on the weekend, that's for sure. So we've got some great weather for this weekend, which is first prize. That's what we always. Hopefully, the fish are playing ball out in front here of Hibadine, of Phumula Beach Hotel. Our closest launch sites here are Hibadine, and Njambili launch site, which is just down the way, which is limited.
Well, hopefully, I don't want to chuck this bag away. It's just a little bit in the way. I mean, look at these. This is one of the lovely prizes. That's, I mean, if it fits me in there, it's going to fit a nice big kuta or tuna, and hopefully that's what's going to be filling. That's what's going to be filling those bags this weekend.
Yeah, and together, guys, just to give you a bit of an understanding, and we're going to be reiterating this throughout the weekend, because I don't think guys appreciate it enough with regards to sponsors on a regular event in regular times. Just how tough it is to have these sponsors take money out of their pocket at times, sponsor massive amounts of prizes to enable us to put these events on. But now, what we have now, more than ever, we've got, together with goodie bag stuff and prizes, we've got over 400,000 rands worth of prizes to give away here this weekend. And that is an unbelievable achievement from the sponsors that have really supported us and looked after us, and a lot of our own fishermen that have actually supported our events as well. You know, we've got a guy like, for instance, Neil Campbell. One phone call to Neil, he's a local chap, said, Neil, listen, but we're in a bit of a jam here. We need some prizes. Who do you know in the area that can come on board? You know, and he's got guys like Lake Eland. He's got the Wild Five that have sponsored some awesome gorge swings and whatnot. Lake Eland's sponsored some great prizes. Fuchs Oil as well. All these local sponsors, you know, that have got together. Jack's Restaurant, you know.
It's nice, some local flavors.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And there's there's a couple of guys we're definitely going to be mentioning throughout the course of the weekend. This is not it. There's other local sponsors that have also come on board. R&K Kun Farms is one of them. Is one of our big sponsors. So we're just so appreciative, guys, to have the local flavor involved in the event. We really appreciate all of that. Neil, thanks very much, buddy. A special shout out to you.
But just talking about over the course of the weekend, that's what we're doing this weekend, guys. We've put it out there, and we'll keep pushing it out to guys join in. But there's obviously all the guys coming to the comp, and this is going to be our studio here at the event. So we're going to be
an industry first, eh?
Yeah.
So it's never been done at a fishing event. There's never been an on-site studio from a fishing event where you're actually reporting out to guys that are fishing the event, keeping the people that can't necessarily make the event, the guys that are at home, the guys that enjoy watching their fishing. You'll be able to watch these guys fishing live via our studio here, which we'll put the schedule out on the groups and on the Facebook pages and that sort of thing, so you can have the times that when you need to tune in and whatnot. But it's going to be active on
notifications, because it will pop up.
It's going to be active on the Facebook page. It's going to be active on the Facebook page.
Here, like I say, we're here in the studio. It looks like the breakfast show. Harold and Judy.
Just
and so the studio will be the sort of the hub of it, and then, like Kirk says, we'll cross the guys out on the water, and we're going to have the products here from various sponsors. So just come join in the fun. Even though if you can't make it, or if you've got friends and family who are participating, you're basically going to join in the fun via our Facebook page and YouTube channels.
Yeah, it's the only weekend during the year that Formula is actually open to the public, without, if you're not staying here, I'm saying, if you're not staying on site, it's the only weekend during the year.
As long as you're part of the event.
As long as you're part of the event. So you can come down and enjoy the festivities, guys. Briefing. We're going to have a bit of live music afterwards. The next day, Saturday, is the big day. Saturday, we've got the crayfish comp within the fishing comp. So there's kayaks, jet skis, and ski boats that are going to be fishing against each other. And then we've got the cray comp as well. And then in the afternoon, we've got a seafood bra going for everyone. We've got live music. We've got big screen rugby. It's going to be a fantastic, fantastic afternoon. And it gets really, really festive under the tent here at Pumula Beach.
And the weather looks great.
Weather looks perfect for Saturday. Weather looks perfect for Saturday. So, guys, please bring the families. That's what it's all about. That's what this event is all about. Is bringing the families down. Not only catering just for the anglers, the wives, for the kids as well, and to make sure that the fishermen and fisher ladies have a great time out in the deep, and not having to worry about anything that's happening back here at the hotel with their kids. They all get very well.
Just a little recap on the comp for some people who are not sure how it's all working. So we've got three categories. We say kayak versus jet ski versus ski boat, because I guess that's essentially what it is. But obviously it's every angler competing against each other. And then there's an overall winner who's the Sapphire King of the Sea. And hey, you never know, might be the Queen of the Sea this year.
Yeah, hopefully.
So and then that category is that guy's the overall winner, or that person's the overall winner. And then there's subcategories as well. So let's say a kayak wins it, then you have the King of the ski boats, King of the jet skis as well. And then we have junior prizes, we have ladies prizes, we've got placings, we've got lucky draws, like you said. There's all sorts going on, lots of different prizes involved. And if you had looked earlier, we're having a run over of the prizes we've got here. There's some really, really awesome prizes up for grabs. And it's a good, fun event. That's what it's always been, and that's how we always wanted to be.
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree with that. And just a little bit of recap on the boundaries and whatnot. So we've opened the boundaries a little bit, just specifically because there's a couple of launch sites that have been hit pretty hard from the recent floods and the recent high tides and whatnot that have sort of coupled together with the floods. So we've gone out to Durban in the north. So Durban Ski Boat Club, your northern boundary. So you have to fish south of Durban Ski Boat Club. And then in the south, we've got Umtumvuna River mouth, which is the southern boundary. You cannot go past there. So it's opened it up a bit. Hopefully, we get a couple more members and that sort of thing that join in the event and join in the festivities. It's a nice big area. And
what it basically does as well is it also, by opening it, I mean, it hasn't opened up much more than what we had. It's, I mean, originally was Isipingo to Ivongo, so it's just extended it slightly, and it just gives guys more options. And also they're more likely able to launch from their local. Like a lot of launch sites have been trashed from the bad weather. So you'd rather launch from your own trashed launch site than a launch site you don't know. So it just gives the guys the options to launch from their own site.
Look, I mean, like,
and if there's a bit of swell,
yeah,
Durban's an option as well.
So Neil, for instance, I was on the phone to Neil earlier, Neil Campbell, and he said to me, "Listen, Muzumkulu is a launch site that he launches out of," and he said, "Look, on if there's a bit of swell, it handles the swell well." And he said, "Guys, come through, come and join us at the launch site. I'll give you the lines, I'll tell you where to go, get you out safely." And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. These guys, you know, the locals, and we found that throughout the years that we've done this event. 11 years,
we've
12
made
years.
friends for life here.
100%. And as cliche as it might sound, it's the truth. The Oaks from down here are proper salt of the earth Oaks, and they're willing just to help wherever they can.
Always.
So yeah, and they've helped us a hell of a lot. We definitely wouldn't be 12 years in without the assistance.
You know, our two local, the close ski boat clubs, we've got Hibberdine and Injabili, and I mean, those guys have just been fantastic, always helping, always willing to help as well, and assist wherever they can to help us make it a successful event, and come fish the comp, and then get their guys to come and fish it as well. And there's a great mix of guys coming from all over the country, Durban and wherever, and then plus all the locals as well. So it's a really a good mix of people that come to the comp.
100%. So just a quick shout out as well to one or two more local guys. We've got the Coastal Farmers, John Shiki Packaging, Fuchs Oil. We've given them a punt already. Farmers Agri Care, Industrial Supply Centre. Massive thanks to all of you guys, some local guys getting involved. We so appreciate it, chaps. You guys have no idea. So thank you very much for getting involved. But on to sites, we've just been chatting about the launch sites a little bit. Obviously, we haven't been able to go down to all of them. Tomorrow, we're going to go down to Hibberdine. We're going to live stream that. Brendan might, you might go down to Njambili, Brendan, to have a look there.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll go both launches. We'll see how they look.
But we're going to go down and have a look at the launch sites. We'll live stream those launch sites and sort of see. It's going to be a similar tide to what it's going to be on Saturday, just maybe a half hour, 45 minutes apart. But we're going to get a good understanding of where you need to sit and where you need to hold and whatnot, and just to sort of figure out of your launch and getting out safely. Talking about Umkomaas now, a lot of guys have been chatting about Umkomaas. He was quite badly hit with the recent rains. I did a live stream from there this morning. So if you want to check that video out, head onto the GoFish page and check out that live stream video, because there's a bit of information on what's been happening there. So it's going to be a high tide on Saturday morning, and that's going to affect the Umko launch site. But there's a bit of beach that's come back on that launch site, which is great. So at one stage, we had a hell of a lot of beach from where you actually come onto the beach out of the car park. We probably had about 80 meters of beach in front of us to the river mouth. The river mouth has washed that 80 meters of beach into the sea.
Possibly even more than 80.
Probably maybe. But now it's starting to sort of come back a bit. But on the high tide, that water still pushes right up almost onto that entry onto the beach. So from what I saw this morning, there's a line there. So obviously the water's not very, very high when it's coming up there. It's just sort of pushing slightly. So you actually might be able to get around the corner to the river, where there's actually a lot of sand under the bridge, upriver. There's actually a lot of sand under the bridge, but you just might have to time it like you would at like the Zinkwazi, for instance. on a high tide and get around.
Then where would
that
you
corner.
leave your vehicle? Up there and then come back? Or?
No, look, it's better to leave your vehicle in the parking lot,
Yeah.
so you would obviously want to come back. But it definitely didn't. It just seemed like it had just lapped up there, you know. So it's.
But I think guys are going to have to be aware that it's not going to handle nearly as many craft as it normally would. So.
And also
choose
don't
your
rush.
Choose your launch site, guys.
If you're not sure about it, there's plenty guys that launch there on a day. Sit and wait and watch those guys. Don't be in a rush to launch and get out and whatnot. Rather get down there if you haven't launched there before. Especially, look, I'd be sitting and waiting. I launch at Uncle all the time, but I haven't launched there since we've had these issues with floods and whatnot. And I'd be sitting and waiting and watching those oaks and seeing what they do, the locals, and seeing what they do. I had to go and launch myself. So take a bit of time before you.
You've also got options as well. You've got, if you're wanting to obviously fish that sort of area, there's also Rocky Bay to launch from. Yeah. So, yeah, there's that's the thing, is where there's plenty of options along the coast for you to choose the launch site that suits you the most. Don't shoot into launching somewhere just because your mates are launching there, or that's where you think the fish are, or that's where you want to fish. Yeah. If you get to a launch site and you think, well, I'm not comfortable, move on and go check out another launch site. You know, they're often are totally different in terms of day, and also with that, particularly that swell, it's running a sort of a southwesterly swell, so it will definitely affect certain launch sites in a different way. Yeah,
100%. On the subject of fish, there's a lot of guys asking, hey, have fish been coming out and whatnot? Yes, they have. The answer to that question is 100%. And it's not just to try and punt the event for this weekend. It's not that at all. I've been keeping in close sort of contact with a lot of the anglers that have been fishing at various launch sites, specifically more so around the Scotbury area. There's been quite a few fish coming out there, especially when that water's cleaned up. We had a nice big west that came through on Tuesday that cleaned up quite a bit of that water. The current was also the right direction, was running at a north-south. I'm not 100% sure what it's doing now, but I know that early on in the week the oaks got wahoo, and there were one or two kudu around as well, but they got wahoo on the shoal. I know there were some divers that shot some spears that shot some wahoo on the shoal as well. Some anglers that got one or two wahoo. So there's definitely some fish around there. When they were around, you know, the water's clean. So hopefully that water is also going to be coming down further south. Cam, our machine on the cameraman, is going to be flying the drone tomorrow morning off of Hibberdine to show us a bit more of the color of the water out. So we'll be able to show you that when we stream from the studio tomorrow. At what time, Bruno? What, 11, 12?
Yeah, there's going to be a few times tomorrow. We'll try to post them up. I think there's a bit of an earlier one, and then one towards lunchtime as well.
So we're going to be bringing you that video from the Hibberdine launch site, just to show hopefully what the color of the water is doing.
That color line I was here on Sunday, and I think it's also quite similar driving on down today. That color line it's not just sort of sitting in one spot. It's in certain areas that the color lines are further out, and then like you go a little bit further up into Lumi, and it's just on backline. So there's clean water in different places. So there's definitely different options around, and that color line's there, and there's dirty water there. There's going to be fish hunting along that color line as well. So, I mean, here's a prime spot. Pamula itself has produced some incredible fish over the years. Yeah. The last event, Vernon Melian got that massive GT here off the front. There was that 30 kg wahoo caught right off the point here in our very first comp.
Yeah, our very first comp.
And guys caught Dorado off the bricks here before, you know. Yeah. So if that current comes streaming in here, there's a lot of activity along this stretch too, up to Hibberdine, and then down to like Sea Park area, Tweenie, all the way down to Port Shepton. So there's a lot of area to work around this section as well. So there's just a lot of options.
And I think a lot of guys, I mean, like anyone would be, South Coast is sometimes a bit of a block with anglers. Like a lot of guys, especially guys that fish North Coast, like South Coast, not overly amped on fishing South Coast. I don't know whether it's maybe in their sort of minds, whether they don't think that the juices as many fish as the North Coast does, but it's definitely from a point of view, more from a point of view of I don't really know the area too well. I don't want to go down there. chaps, trust me, if you're in that frame of mind, into the comp, we've got so much information. We've got a hell of a lot of marks. Chat to us. We've got a couple of locals as well that we can put you in touch with. And it's so well worth the time and effort for you to come down here, fish the event. We've got over 100 lucky draw and throw-out prizes. Probably, and I'm being modest when I say that, probably about 140, 150 at the moment. There are unbelievable amount of prizes all the way down the line. So you probably are going to win a prize at some stage during the weekend. Just
maybe a can of beer, maybe a lure, might be a reel.
Talking about lures, you got a couple of these, some local lures, locally made lures. I mean, it's good to see.
The nice thing we had with this year's event is we've got in touch with quite a few local manufacturers, and I guess you call them handmade lures.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the guys, they start off as handmade, and then they move on to a system that helps them produce lures a lot faster. But you know, the fact is, it's their art.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about it. We don't have Sox's stuff here yet, so we'll check Sox's stuff when over the weekend. But we've got some stuff from like Load Lures. These are our new guys on the block. They've got these lovely poppers here. I don't know if Cam's will zoom in there. And
Cam had a vodka earlier on that he thought was water.
Cam's not
bearing in mind he doesn't drink. So
put the laptop down.
You can just check. His globes are shining from behind the camera there. So you'll be fine.
So there it is there. I'll just take it out the box. Oh no, that's someone's prize. That's and then there's TMB lures. That's from Tion Marnie Barnard, Tion and Marnie Barnard. TMB there. They fish up in Bara, and they're fishing top water a lot. Stick baiting and poppers.
And jigs.
They've got a range of jigs as well that they do, and so they've sent us some lovely stuff as well. And Swindler Lures, this is Greg Kellerman from down the Eastern Cape. He's made, these are actually like real, these are lovely. They're made with the Sapphire King of the Sea little logo on them. So like very specific for this event, come in this lovely little box. And that's the nice thing about the guys with the homemade lures, and you know, there's that personal touch.
A bit more, a nice touch.
And then there's Jersey Brawn, Dave Phillips.
Yeah.
One day we'll tell you the whole story about it. He told me exactly how the name came. It was a really cool story. But these little bucktails are deadly little. And he was just telling me that's the nice thing is if you visit these guys at their shops, you can see the passion and the detail that they put into their product.
Just show that lure so that Cam can actually get up close. I mean, Dave's been going for a couple of years now, but he's kind of gone into this almost sort of semi full time. He's an absolute legend of an oak, but
let me tell you some of the detail on this. I mean, this is what he was telling me.
Are superb.
And these guys will all be the same. Like you know, Tion's spent hours testing his. Rich has as well, and obviously Greg fishes a lot. So these guys are all great fishermen, and there's a lot of thought that goes into this. I mean, like just for example, this little yellow spot is that the certain sardines all have that slight yellow tinge to it, and he says that's like been a bit of a game changer for him. So that's hours and hours of work that goes into these. So it's lucky to see their products, and that's the whole idea of an event like this. They give us surprises, push their products out to hopefully grow bigger.
And always good to support local. I mean, we've got one of our local sponsors here, Buddy Cool. Cam, I don't know if you can pull in on this one here. One of our locally made cooler boxes here, Buddy Cool.
They're really big ones as well.
Down the Cape. So from this 15 litre all the way to a 200 litre, which is what we've actually got as one of the main prizes. And
I've been fitting into everything. I was even fitting into that. I was fitting into the bag.
And they've sponsored a hell of a lot of cooler boxes for this event, and they always do. Great supporters of ours. So guys, just make sure.
Fish SA is also Dean Dickerson. Dean Dickerson, he's also down the Eastern Cape, also a fisherman, and he spent ages fine tuning his product with stuff that's made his fishing easier, and that's where a lot of their stuff comes from, is from their own experience.
Great. We've got this is one of our stalwart sponsors for years now. They turned 40 the other day.
This is their 40th
birthday
year. So
So to
We'll be
Liz and the
mentioning
team,
that a lot over the weekend.
massive thank you to you. There's one of the prizes that is up, or two of the prizes that are up for grab this weekend. We've got 3 LOWRANCE packs there that are filled with caps and LOWRANCE goodies, and
And there's a unit available. There's a
unmatched backup service from LOWRANCE. So give them a look as well.
There's a unit up for grabs as well.
There's that unit there, yeah. That unit's up for grabs, yeah. Guys, and one of our big sponsors this year who hasn't come on previously. So massive thanks to Spa SA for coming on board with a hell of a lot of products for the goodie bags, and
This is particularly Spa products they're branded as, and the Go Energy drink is part of their range. Solar, the
sunscreen.
sunscreen. I mean, when they said to me you need to come and fetch the stuff for the goodie bag, they weren't joking.
Yeah.
It was like literally a bucky load that we brought down on Sunday to bring it down. So.
Yeah, no, we've been spending pretty much all afternoon packing all that stuff into the goodie bags, and it's a massive thank you to Spa. Have you got some photos there?
Yeah, I'm gonna just quickly. So just taking it, but we should show a few pictures of some of the fish that have been caught over the years. I mean, the fishing, it's generally this comp's won by a big cooter, generally. There've been a couple of times where wahoo and tuna have come close, but there's normally crocs around at this time of year. They've moved from the north down there. I think they often hover around this sort of area as well, and sit here for a bit. So, if you spend your time out there on the water and patient enough, there's some big fish out there.
Yeah, I think also there's still going to be a lot of groundwater from rivers and that sort of thing, and from these heavy rains that we've had, and people don't actually realize that it's not necessarily the rivers that are pumping down and bringing that water and dirtying up the coast. I mean, we've seen now the rivers have subsided now, but there's still quite a bit of dirty off-color water, and that a lot of the time and it happens a lot off of Toti, where the water actually seeps into the ground and actually comes out further out to sea as groundwater coming out through the sand, and that turns the water off color as well. So we've still got a bit of that, but that's not a bad thing, because what often happens is that water that's coming up from underneath is often it's off color water, it's nutrient filled, the bait like it. So I've seen a couple of these patches as we're coming down south of this kind of off green color water. It's such a great color for kudos. That off green is a brilliant color for kudos. As long as you're getting that kind of clean to off green color, that's the color you want. You don't want that clear color water, because they can see the bait from a mile away. When you're getting that off color water, you don't have to hide the bait as well. Obviously, you want to try and make the bait as possible, but you don't have to hide the bait as well, because now what's happening is that game fish is coming in. He's feeding a bit more aggressively because the water's a bit dirtier. So when he sees a bait, he's going to come in and smash it. He's not going to give it a second thought like he would in clean water.
That's why like some maybe fast-moving baits. If you find live bait and you haven't got a lot of dead bait, pulling some plastics definitely could work.
Bit of vibration in the water.
Some poppers.
Like
you say, getting them chasing after some movement on the surface. There's there's a few photos here. This is
Make it a big screen.
Okay. This is just a recap from the last event in 2019. He's the reigning champ. Caden Leonard. It was actually, he was 10 years old, and it was quite fitting because it was the 10-year anniversary of the event. And then I'll just fish.
And that's the beauty of this event. I mean, anyone can win. That's a great thing. I mean,
well, the year before that was Mike Wheeler, who stumbled straight out the pub,
straight
out to the launch site, and bagged the winning fish within
an hour
of launching on Saturday. There's Alvay with a nice tuna, Bartho. I'll just pop out to some previous years. There's good fish that come out. I mean, remember, who was it? Cassie.
Yeah.
Had a 30 kg tuna on the nets at Aberdeen.
Yeah.
There's fishing for bait. And he
A lot
put
of fish have come
bait
off here. A
out,
lot of the good fish have come
and there
off
was a
here.
30 kg tuna
Yeah.
on the end there.
But guys, I think, you know, from our side, we're going to be doing this the whole weekend. We'll send out the itinerary on Facebook. We're going to be doing definitely a lunchtime show tomorrow. That's on the itinerary. So we'll have a bit of a, in that show, we'll show the launch sites at Hibberdine and we'll show the launch sites at Njambili here, the 2 local launch. Cam will fly the drone. We'll get a bit of an idea of what the water's looking like as well out in front of Phumula, what the color's like. So we're going to be bringing you quite a bit of information. We're going to be running through a couple of products as well. Maybe there's a couple of anglers here that are a bit earlier, and we can bring them in as well. So that's what we're going to be doing this week, pretty much. On Saturday,
And crossing onto guys on the water.
On Saturday, we're going to be doing a lot of water crossing, like Brendan's saying. So early on, we're going to probably have a studio session at around 8 o'clock on the Saturday. We're going to be crossing live to some of the guys on the water. We'll be chatting to them, where they are, what they're doing, what they've been doing. Have they gotten lots of stories?
Hopefully we can get across to guys who are actually on the bite.
Yeah, 100%. So we're going to also, during that time, guys will be able to stream into us, and we'll be able to have them on the show when they get into a fish. So there's going to be a lot of exciting stuff. It's an industry first, guys. It's an event, fishing event first in SA, to have a studio at a fishing event, bringing you guys the information on the event, the results as they happen the whole weekend. It's going
only
to be
thing they're missing
exciting.
is nice butter. Otherwise, it's like a super sport.
In other words, yeah. But
here's another quick picture
yeah,
here
of
of one of the Philippi boys. That's I mean, this is the kind of fish that will be coming out. I mean, we've had some monster cutie coming out of this event.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we're going to see some more over the weekend.
100%. So, guys, also for any of the cray anglers that haven't entered as yet, we've also got a cray comp that happens up until 1:30 or 1 o'clock on Saturday.
We may push it out a little bit because of the dirty water, but it's open boundaries as well. So that we've let the cray guys, they can choose wherever they want to go and find some clean water.
Yeah.
And there's a 3,000 rand prize up for that, for the biggest cray.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're a cray fisherman and you fancy sticking your hand in a hole that you can't see and hope you don't get charred by a moray eel,
you make it sound well worth the entry. But
no, but those guys, I mean, some of those guys that enter this comp, they've got some spots where they know they're such good divers. And, we'll have some craze, I'm sure. Definitely.
So, guys, I think from our side, I think that's it. We've got a hell of a lot more action coming your way over the course of this weekend, starting from tomorrow. And
hopefully we've been long enough and the ladies have packed all the goodie bags and we don't have to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to head back and pack some goodie bags now. We'll finish up packing goodie bags.
Guys,
the shirt.
That's another reason to enter. If you haven't entered yet, there's still space to get one of
Possibly
these in your goodie bag.
Yeah.
And the goodie bags they're looking great.
There's probably around, we worked it out, close on 800 rands worth of product in that goodie bag. Yeah. That's from Spa, that's from Wild Coolers, that's from this beautiful shirt from Lassen Clothing that's been made for the event, the Sapphire shirt. So there's a hell of a lot of stuff to go to just out of entering. Your late entry fee now, it's obviously late entry, it's $650, guys, but it's still well worth it. And I tell you, if you haven't been to this event, honestly, one of the most special events to come to, if I can actually say it myself.
No, it's fun. It's fun to it's fun to run, and it's like we said, we were saying earlier, it's going to be so lucky to see the guys again. Yeah. There's a lot of people who are here every year, and you make friends and events like this, and that's what it's about for us. It's about the gears, the vibe.
Yeah, 100%. But guys, so stay tuned. This whole weekend, starting tomorrow, like we said, there's going to be action happening from the Go Fish Facebook platform. So watch that little that pops up, that little link that pops up saying that Go Fish is live, because it could be one of these studio sessions.
Yeah, at the Glassfoot Studio.
At the Glassfoot Studio. The Glassfoot Studio. That's it. A massive thanks to Glassfoot SA. But guys, from us for tonight, that is it. We're going to go and carry on grafting, making sure that the event is going to be is going to be well received by you guys.
I'm going back to sleep in my
sleeping bag. And Brendan's going to go back into his fish bag. At least he's got something in that fish bag for a change. All right, chaps. Listen, good evening. Thank you very much, and we hope to see you tomorrow.
Cheers.